Hello everyone, and welcome to another vlog. I hope everyone enjoyed their weekend. I was at a family retreat this weekend for Muscular Dystrophy Canada, so I was very busy, but it's nice to be back. So this week's theme is accessible dating. So I want to talk a little bit about my brief experience with accessible dating, and also I want to talk a little bit about a number of accessible dating platforms for people with disabilities. So I myself am in the process of looking to see if I can maybe get into a relationship with someone. So I'm on a number of online dating websites, namely Tinder and OkCupid, um, in hopes of maybe meeting someone online. But I also make an effort to get out of the house and interact in the community a lot in hopes of maybe meeting that special someone in person. I've never actually went on any dates, and that might be kind of odd for say, but it's actually quite common in the disabled community for people with disabilities to start dating later. So where an able-bodied person might date in, we'll say, high school, even earlier, people with disabilities often don't start dating until like their 20s or later. And because of that, some people with disabilities get a little discouraged sometimes because they worry about how they're going to be perceived by others because of their disability, and that maybe they won't find anyone to be in a relationship with and to be loved by. Now, sometimes I myself even find myself getting discouraged for the same reason, but I always remind myself that there are a lot of people with disabilities that are in relationships, including a lot of my friends with disabilities, and some of them are even married. So I always try to remind myself that when I get discouraged, that there probably is someone out there for me. So when it comes to dating, there's a number of dating platforms for regular dating and accessible dating. In person, of course, the traditional in-person dating, but also modern online dating. So I want to talk about a number of online dating platforms that are designed specifically for people with disabilities. Now, I want to stress that I don't endorse any of these websites. I'm just listing them so that you have the knowledge, and you can check them out if you choose, but you don't have to. Really, my role is to just provide the information to you, and you can do with the information as you choose. So I've got a list of 9 different accessible dating websites here that I want to go through. So the first is called Dating for Disabled, which is a dating and social media platform for people with disabilities. Right? So basically, on this website, users communicate with potential matches through forums and chat rooms in particular. And it's available online or as a mobile app. The next website is called Disability Dating. And again, it's a dating website for people with disabilities. This one I liked because it's built specifically around the core values of respect and dignity, right? So they say right in their terms of use that people who use the site need to respect people's needs and make an effort to understand their specific situation and uphold their dignity, right? And that's really important when it comes to online dating. They also make online safety somewhat of a priority because they have an online safety page that gives you some safety tips, and I'll talk a little bit about those afterward. Next is Disabled Passions. Now, Disabled Passions is actually a cooperative of online dating sites for people with disabilities. So it's a whole bunch of sites that are partnered together. It's free to use, and it's a very inclusive dating website. It basically has filters for people of all walks of life. And then there's Glimmer. Now, Glimmer is essentially Tinder for people with disabilities. So with Glimmer, users create a brief profile, and then they, swipe right or left depending on whether or not they like that person. The main difference between Glimmer and Tinder is that on a Glimmer, the user's disability is shown right on their profile. And this is a free-to-use app, but it does contain in-app purchases. So that brings us to number 5, which is called Meet Disabled Singles. And this is another cooperative of online dating websites for people with disabilities. And this one's good because it's tailored to users' particular interests, hobbies, and needs. And again, safety is a priority on this website. They have a safety tips page and a number of other features to keep people safe while using this website. So that brings us to number 6, My Special Match, which I thought was kind of similar to Match.com, specifically because users create a profile, then they find potential matches, and then they start communicating, very similar to how Match.com works. Number 7 is called No Longer Lonely, which is a dating website designed specifically for people with mental illness. And it was actually started by someone with schizophrenia. And again, it's built around the core values of respect and dignity, which is important not just when talking about disability, but also mental illness. And again, it's available online or as a mobile app. And then there's Soulful Encounters, that's number 8, which is another dating website described as for people who are medically disabled or differently abled. So basically what they do is they work with disabled individuals and organizations to connect users. And again, built around the core values of respect and dignity. That's kind of a big thing that I was looking at when I was doing the research on which of these dating websites were good and which ones weren't quite as good. In my opinion, of course, this is a lot of this is my opinion. And again, Soulful Encounters is free to use. So that brings us to the final dating website that I found, called Special Bridge. Now this one I thought was kind of similar to OkCupid, but you know, it's not like OkCupid. It's not entirely free. It's a dating and social media platform for people with disabilities, just like one of the earlier ones, just like Dating for Disabled. Same idea. And again, online safety is a priority. And I'll include links to each of these websites in the description for you to check out if you wish, but you don't have to if you don't want to. Just gives you the opportunity to go take a look around at them. So I'm just going to take a few minutes to talk a little bit about online safety, because obviously online dating does come with some risks, whether you're disabled or not. So the first tip is to just take it slow. If you do meet someone online, get to know them online before you even consider meeting them in person. And then if you do decide to meet them in person, pick a public place to meet, somewhere where there's lots of people, so that you don't put yourself into danger. You don't want them to take advantage of you, or something else, if you meet somewhere's private for the first time, someone that you met online. Of course, don't share any sensitive information with them. So SIN number, credit card number, anything that they can use against you, don't share with them, just as you would on any other social media platform. You wouldn't share that kind of information. So, you know, follow the same practice with online dating. If someone is harassing you or making you uncomfortable in any way, it's probably not a bad idea to block them. And finally, if anyone acts suspicious or does anything that is just suspicious in any way, it's probably not a bad idea to consider reporting them. So those are just some of the online tips that I have, some of which I read on some of the websites, and there were some decent tips, and there's a lot of other ones as well. So that's about it for today. I'll be releasing a video on Thursday where I'm going to be talking a little bit more about online dating for people with disabilities, and also other forms of accessible dating. So subscribe if you want to see that. Thanks for watching, and I'll see everyone on Thursday, hopefully.